Good morning, the Shasta Jazz Band. Before we begin today, by the way, I'm Pat Farr, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners for a few more minutes. And we're going to be conducting today's State of the County address. Before we begin that, I'd like to invite General Norman Hoffman to join me at the podium to lead us in the flag salute. Brigadier General retired Norman Hoffman served in the 2nd of the 162 I served alongside of him. At the time he was a major, Tom Egan and I were lieutenants during that period of time. So General Hoffman, please.
Please rise and join me. Flag salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I was proud and pleased to serve in the 2nd of the 162 alongside General Hoffman. Thank you very much. Today, we have a number of elected officials in the audience, and I'd like to welcome the Mayor of Eugene, Lucy Venus. Thank you for being here today. I'd also like to introduce Sean Van Gordon from the City of Springfield. Sean, welcome today. And Mike Fleck from the Cottage Grove City Council. Mike, thank you for being here today. Now, significantly, we have 3 other county-wide elected officials who are with us today. Sheriff Byron Trapp. Welcome, Sheriff. District Attorney Patty Perlow. And County Assessor Mike Coles. Thank you all for being here this morning. I'd also like to point out the Board of County Commissioners, along with 3 of our 4 other board members are here with us this morning. I'd like to thank and welcome Commissioner Pete Sorensen, our senior member. Commissioner Sid Lyken, longtime Mayor of Springfield. And Commissioner Gary Williams, longtime Mayor of Cottage Grove. At this point, I'd like to, if you don't mind indulging me, I'm going to ask the jazz band to play another number. Is that okay? Everybody fine with that? Please. Now, as the jazz band prepares, I'd like to mention that my sons played in this jazz band. Actually, one played in this jazz band, the other played in Cascade Middle School, and they went on to play in Willamette High School. This is an award-winning jazz band. I'm proud to introduce them, proud for them to be here with us today. And I'd like to point out on the end, Kylan is with a guitar, is standing up. That guitar was handmade by the grandfather of a former jazz band player from Shasta. That's a handmade guitar being played today. Please. Mike Reitz, the conductor of the jazz band, thank you very much for bringing the 13 and 14-year-old kids in with you today. Thank you very much, and I believe we're going to hear from you one more time before the day's over. So thank you very much. Maybe you didn't know that. Very good. Thank you very much. Before I start, I'd like to mention County Administrator Steve Mokrahayski is with us in the room today. Thank you, Steve, for being here. And Eugene City Manager John Rees is with us today also. Thank you for being here. 2017 has been a year of stabilization and progress for Lane County. But my stabilization and progress would be shot if I didn't mention one more person. The Vice Chair of the Bethel School Board, my wife, Debbie Farr. Thank you for being here, honey. That would have been a problem. And also, I noticed that Jim Stutz from the Siuslaw River Coast Guard Auxiliary is with us today. Thank you for being here with us, Commander Stutz. 2017 has been a year of stabilization and progress for Lane County. But 2017 has also been a year of challenges for this county. Facing the largest housing crisis perhaps ever in the history of Oregon and Lane County, counties and cities throughout this state have struggled to find adequate numbers of decent places for men and women and families to live, leaving many suffering from grossly inadequate living conditions for the first time in their lives, living in homelessness. Throughout the nation, certain factions who have long been silent, either through fear of being exposed for their views or simply through cowardice, found themselves suddenly emboldened to openly in our streets and buildings threaten underrepresented populations, people of color, people who felt safe with their gender identity or sexual orientation in the past. Threats of violence, retribution, oppression, and suppression have become tragically more common than at any time in recent history. The physical and mental health of our county and people living here have been severely challenged by inadequate resources, facilities or planning, and by illness and diseases that have shortened lives and drastically changed living conditions for the people suffering from preventable and chronic disorders. Safety in our community, on the roads and on the highways, always at the top of our list of concerns, has been challenged by increasing crime and the highest highway death toll of any of Oregon's 36 counties. Natural disasters, ranging from historically devastating ice storms that paralyzed parts of the county, and a long, dry fire season that found Oregonians and Lane County residents with no respite from mind-boggling smoke incursion. And along with other timber-producing counties in Oregon, Lane County has seen its federal revenue from timber harvest reduced to a trickle of its promised former stream that has raised the specter of reduced services, layoffs, and closing facilities. Lane County's budget has become a bleeding wound that threatened even the basic services a county is required to deliver. Bad news. However, despite the challenges that we encountered during 2017, this has been a year of stabilization and progress for Lane County. We've celebrated the beginning of new efforts to improve the health and safety of our communities across Lane County, and we continue to work hard to protect the financial stability we've achieved through careful planning. The heart of stability and progress for any organization is its ability to develop, communicate, and execute a strategic plan that defines goals and tactics, a strategic plan that every member of the organization understands, and more significantly, every member of the organization understands his or her role in the success of the strategic plan. Lane County is completing its third year of a 3-year plan that aggressively aimed high with its goals and strategies. Lane County's dynamic plan has been bolstered by tactics at the department and team level that have driven us to new levels of organization, new levels of production, and new levels of transparency and accountability. Our strategic plan has 3 goal areas: a safe and healthy county, vibrant communities, and infrastructure. Implementing the strategies under these 3 goal areas while working with an ever more challenging budget has required controlling internal costs while strictly balancing revenue and expenses. During my first 4 years as commissioner, and during the decade prior to that, the county struggled with layoffs, struggled with service cuts, and continued decimation of needed resources. For the first time in 7 years, in 2017, this fiscal year has seen the county balance its general fund and road fund without using reserves, without laying off valuable, talented staff, or reducing services to residents. We continue to control internal costs by implementing financial strategies such as refinancing old and ongoing debt. This saved taxpayers over $3 million. Through self-insurance and reduction of administrative overhead, our health insurance rate saw zero growth for the third consecutive year. I challenge you to find another organization, public, private, nonprofit, that's able to make that same statement. These and other such efforts produce cost savings that allow us to place more resources into the direct services that people demand and that the people expect. As a result of this exemplary financial stewardship, Moody's Financial Services, that's Moody's Financial Services, has upgraded Lane County's credit rating to the highest level it has ever been, AA2. Lane County government also was recognized this year by the Portland Business Journal as the third healthiest large employer in Oregon. No other government agency in Oregon placed within the top 5 in any category. You should applaud at that one. Sometimes you can pretend that I'm a soloist in the jazz band and applaud in the middle. Although I don't have anywhere near the talent of the soloists that performed today. Thank you. No other government agency in Oregon placed within the top 5 in any category. 4 years ago, during my previous term as board chair, we hired a new administrator, Steve Mokrahysky. When he called me to accept the job, I was literally standing on the tarmac adjacent to an airport runway. He accepted the job and the challenges of it and moved his family to Lane County. During our first meeting together, we talked at length about strategic planning and how essential a strong plan would be to meet the seemingly crippling challenges that faced us. Today, as we complete the final half year of our first strategic plan, we're embarking on our next 3-year plan that will build on the success and use our momentum and our solid staff to continue to make Lane County the best place to live. I'll now cover the work we've done in the past year in our 3 goal areas, the work that helped us to address the challenges we've encountered this past year in ways that would not have been possible 5 years ago. First, a safe and healthy county. Lane County has a poverty and homelessness board, unlike any other county in Oregon, and I don't know of any counties anyplace in the United States that has such a board. It's unequaled in any Oregon county. The PHB is comprised of elected officials, service providers, law enforcement, private industry, and served individuals. While the board has been successful in a broad spectrum of areas, I'll talk about the work of one single subcommittee. In 2015, the committee that is now the Shelter and Supportive Housing Committee formulated and executed Operation 365. I'm going to point to the 404 Veterans Housed sign on the what are those called? Easel. Thank you. On the easel there. The work plan housed 404 homeless veterans during that year, culminating in an invitation to the White House celebration in late 2016. Through 2017, programs implemented through the plan have housed over 400 more veterans beyond the 404 that we housed during the initial year. Now I'd like to recognize once again Mayor Lucy Vinnes, who sits with me on that Shelter and Supportive Housing Subcommittee. Thank you for being here today, Mayor Vinnes. The next challenge of the Shelter and Supportive Housing Committee is to enhance all levels of housing and shelter in our community. Our winter emergency housing strategies in its second year is delivering overnight shelter every night through this winter for hundreds of men, women, and children in Lane County. Our current goal is called Operation 600. Planning and siting 600 supportive housing units by 2021. Units that will house vulnerable individuals who are suffering from behavioral health disorders and active substance use. It's a lofty goal, but we're on our way. Now, when my former comrade in arms, when General Hoffman's former comrade in arms, Major Tom Egan, froze to death on our city streets, it raised a hue and cry in the public to make sure others were not suffering from the same fate. Adding safe, supported residential facilities, wet bed housing, we can help ensure that our most vulnerable neighbors will not suffer Tom Egan's fate. And once again, we're on our way. Recently, we celebrated opening of the Oaks at 14th, a facility that we're proud to partner with sponsors, HACSA, and others. The Oaks at 14th provides affordable, permanent housing for individuals with criminal histories, including veterans, seniors, and people with disabilities. Additionally, we've embarked on a Frequent User System Engagement Plan, FUSE, that identifies the most frequent users of emergency services and provides them with immediate targeted help. including residential and medical. The first year of the plan has produced incredible results and has garnered support for the ongoing program. Our first county-operated supportive housing unit on county property at MLK Boulevard is in the planning stages and will ultimately house, with wraparound care, 50 individuals in safe and healing residence. We adopted Lane County's first ever Transportation Safety Action Plan, which is designed to help reduce the high number of fatalities on Lane County roads through education, engineering, and enforcement. The removal of tobacco from our 70 county-operated parks, the increase in the tobacco purchase consumption age to 21 years old, and the approval of a policy that will make county-owned properties tobacco-free will lead to a healthier future for the young people and adults alike growing up in Lane County. In May of 2017, we sought to renew our public safety levy for an additional 5 years. We'd received another successful audit of the use of levy funds in January of 2017, and anticipate a fourth audit later this month, showing that we are keeping our promises to voters. By actually reducing the amount levied by 30% during the initial phase, we garnered the trust of taxpayers during the first levy, and they approved and I got to say this solid because this is really big. They approved the renewal of the levy with a 72% yes vote. Thank you, Sheriff Trapp, for leading the effort. The levy has ensured greater funding for youth services, added mental health specialists to jail staff, and is a cornerstone of the Sheriff's Department partnering with Lane County Behavioral Health to help first responders provide assistance needed in the best and safest way to our communities with mental illness. In 2017, the board adopted 5 community health improvement plan priorities for Lane County. The priorities were developed after vigorous community outreach and work with our partners. They focused on economic development, housing, and rural health care, which we know are foundations to a safe and healthy county. Next is the vibrant communities. I'm committed, and all of Lane County government is committed to ensuring that our county and our cities are a safe, nurturing, and welcoming place to live. We will not tolerate inequities waged on the people who live with us and beside us in our community. In 2017, our newly formed Equity and Access Advisory Board began meeting. This group of community members is committed to helping Lane County place equity at the heart of its decisions, both internally and in our communities. Members have already helped to craft provisions regarding foreign citizenship that were adopted into Lane Manual by commissioners in July. Our 2-year vegetation management program study was completed in 2017, and the Citizen Committee unanimously presented a program to the Board of Commissioners that provided for effective preservation of our transportation infrastructure while minimizing roadside spray and overspray. Additionally, our Parks Advisory Committee, fresh off its 2-year large events task force, is embarking on a multi-year, multidisciplinary parks and open space master plan. Finally, I'll talk about our ongoing work in cooperation with the City of Eugene and state government to site and build a new Lane County Justice Center to replace our aging courthouse, to build a new and vibrant Eugene City Hall, and significantly to a year-round permanently sited Lane County Farmers Market. This work is ongoing, and I expect plan finalization perhaps early in 2018. Infrastructure. Our third countywide priority is infrastructure, which provides the backbone that supports our work in the first 2 priority areas. Our infrastructure encompasses both physical and policy-based elements. In 2017, Lane County's Office of Performance Auditor completed audits and forwarded recommendations in a number of areas. Significantly, our behavioral health and road maintenance divisions underwent performance auditing, and the results were largely positive and will help us plan better for the future. Lane County's performance auditor reports to the Board of County Commissioners. The auditor is charged with identifying ways to improve the efficiency, transparency, and effectiveness of county government. Working with our legislators, we helped craft and pass a transportation package that will provide an expected $8 million per year for improvements in our roads and highways, and helping us maintain our 1,440 miles of county roads, hundreds of bridges, and bike facilities, mostly roadside bike facilities. The most vital aspect of our infrastructure is the staff of talented and dedicated men and women who have chosen Lane County to do as their place to work. I'm going to say that again. because that is really important. The fact that the most vital aspect of our infrastructure is the staff of talented and dedicated men and women who have chosen Lane County as a place to work and live. I want to thank them for their commitment to their work, their drive to make Lane County a better place to live and work. And on behalf of the 360,000 people whose lives they affect every day, I want to offer my deep gratitude for their service. Thank you very much, Lane County employees. Now, there are hundreds of them, but I'm going to call out 4 individuals, 4 people who have had a profound and positive influence on the work that I personally do here. The first person I want to call out is Deanie Leak. Deanie is the face of Lane County to thousands of people who visit or call here annually. You know her voice. You know her face. She works in our front office on the 3rd floor. Her nature and her talent make every day I spend in my office more productive. Next is Diana Aldridge. You may not know her face. You most likely don't know her voice. But Diana is the flawless historian of just about every committee and public meeting in our Human Services Department. Before I became a commissioner, I would often chat with Diana in her office while waiting for Steve Manella. She keeps the most flawless minutes record, not only that I've seen, but I believe is possible. Anybody who's read them, and if their names is mentioned in those minutes, you know she doesn't miss it. Thank you, Diana. The third person I'll mention is Lisa Stewart. Lisa helps administer numerous programs in human services, but significantly, she is the data reporter for our veterans housing programs, Operation 365 and its children. Last on my short list is Diana Jones. She is my voice in the sky. Her work is unnoticed by the public, but if she did not do it to the level that she customarily does, even on vacations and days off, the public would certainly notice. Only 4 names, but representative of the hundreds of people who have dedicated their work and their lives to serving the people of Lane County. Thank you. I'd also like to say a special thank you to the men and women of AFSCME General, AFSCME Nurses, Admin Pro, Public Works Local 626, Lane County Federation of Oregon Patrol and Probation Officers Association, Lane County Peace Officers Association, prosecuting attorneys, and non-represented staff. You make my life better. You make it a joy to come to work in the morning, and you mean the world to the people who live and raise their families in Lane County. Thank you very much. 2018 will see a continued focus on providing short and long-term solutions to homelessness. Our overnight parking program pilot in the River Road area will begin and pair interested businesses and religious institutions with people in need of a safe place to sleep. We'll also work to update our strategic plan so that we're focused and prepared for the opportunities and challenges over the next 3 years. At this point, I'd like to relax myself and ask you all to relax and watch a little video that our professionals behind those windows, you want to know what those windows are? The people who do this. Watch a video, please. "2017 has been a year of stabilization and progress for Lane County. We've celebrated new efforts to improve the health and safety of our communities across Lane County, and we've continued to work hard to protect the financial stability we've achieved through careful planning.
This fiscal year is the first time in 7 years that we have balanced the general fund and the road fund without using reserves and without layoffs or reductions in services to residents. Our work to control costs continues to pay off. Our health insurance rates have seen zero growth for the 3rd straight year. We refinanced existing debt to save taxpayers $3.1 million in interest payments. Our efforts have not only resulted in cost savings that allow us to put more resources toward direct services for the community, they were also recognized by Moody's Financial Services, which upgraded the county's credit rating to AA2, the highest level we have ever achieved. And for the first time, Lane County was recognized as the 3rd healthiest large employer in Oregon by the Portland Business Journal, and is the only government agency to place within the top 5 in any category.
At Lane County, we have 3 strategic priorities. The first is creating a safe and healthy county. In 2017, we advanced that priority in several ways. Lane County sponsors and HACS celebrated the opening of the Oak at 14th, which provides affordable, permanent housing for individuals with criminal histories, including veterans, seniors, and people with disabilities. we adopted Lane County's first ever Transportation Safety Action Plan designed to help reduce the number of fatalities on Lane County roads through education, engineering, and enforcement.
We know our community values safety, and that was evident in the level of support we received to renew the public safety levy for another 5 years. We received our 4th successful audit of the use of the levy funds, showing that we are keeping our promises to voters. We were able to, for the 2nd year in a row, reduce the amount levied for the public safety levy from 55 cents to 38 cents per $1,000 assessed value, and we look forward to continued service to our community.
In 2017, the board adopted 5 Community Health Improvement Plan priorities. The priorities were developed through tremendous community engagement and are focused on economic development, housing, and expanding rural health care. We removed tobacco from our 70 parks, increased the age of tobacco purchase to 21 years old, and approved a policy that will make county-owned properties tobacco-free.
Helping to create and sustain vibrant communities is the 2nd priority area for Lane County. Our Economic Development Office launched a new effort focused on rural Lane County, and commissioners voted in December to provide the funding to support the City of Florence's Revision Florence effort that will help drive continued tourism and economic investment in that community. We're also actively working with businesses to encourage relocation or expansion in Lane County. In 2017, our newly formed Equity and Access Advisory Board began meeting. This group of community members is committed to helping Lane County place equity at the heart of its decisions, both internally and in our communities. Our 3rd countywide priority is infrastructure, which provides the backbone that supports our work. Part of ensuring our infrastructure is in good shape involves performance auditing. Last year, our behavioral health and road maintenance divisions had performance audits, and the results were largely positive and will help us plan better for the future.
Our transportation infrastructure is vital to our economy, our safety, and our future. This year, I and my fellow commissioners advocated at the state legislature for the new transportation package that will ultimately provide an additional $11 million per year for improvements, helping us better maintain our 1,440 miles of county roads and hundreds of bridges.
Our employees are a vital aspect of our infrastructure, and we take recruiting very seriously. We held 10 job application workshops in 2017, screened 6,486 applications, and established an internship program for underrepresented individuals that resulted in 2 permanent hires. We also have 2 new leaders. Karen Gaffney, who you heard from earlier, was selected as the new Health and Human Services Director. And Alana Holmes, another outstanding local leader, was selected to head our Human Resources Department. We are investing in our current employees through an Emerging Leaders program designed to help outstanding individuals rise through the ranks.
2018 will see a continued focus on providing short and long-term solutions to homelessness. Our overnight parking program in the River Road area will begin and pair interested businesses and religious institutions with people in need of a safe place to sleep. We will continue to pursue economic opportunities and business investments in Lane County in order to boost the number of family wage jobs available to our residents. We will also work to update our strategic plan so that we're focused and prepared for opportunities and challenges over the next 3 years. While we still face the obstacle of limited resources, we're creating the solid foundation we need to continue offering vital services to our community. I want you to join me in celebrating our accomplishments from 2017. I'm looking forward to our work in 2018. Mike, do you have a number prepared? Sure. So I'm going to finish up talking here, and you can go ahead and start assembling the band while I do, and then once I finish talking, I have a little surprise for everybody in the room. Right, Devin? Yes, I do have a little surprise for everybody in the room. It's a surprise for me, too. And as the surprise occurs, if you could begin to play the final number, and that will be the end of my talking. So the last thing you're going to hear is the sound of the surprise and Shasta's award-winning jazz band. While we still face the obstacles of limited resources, we're creating the solid foundation we need to continue offering vital services to our community. Working closely with our partner and overlapping jurisdictions is essential to effectively and efficiently providing services and infrastructure to the people we serve. Finding new and innovative ways to both complement and enhance each other's work is an ongoing process. My term as board chair is about to expire, but my ongoing work will be more vigorous than ever. Seeking innovative ways to leverage our resources into making Lane County the best place to live in Oregon and in the United States will consume me. We had a great year, a banner year. My work starting tomorrow sitting at the end of the bench, that end right there, will keep me very busy until every child has food and shelter, until no man or woman or child lacks medical care, until no man or woman or child is homeless. The work goes on. Please, once again, join me in celebrating our achievements in 2017 and looking forward to our work in 2018. And now, to symbolize the magnitude of the work completed, planned and started this year, a sight most people have never seen before, and you'll see it happening right now. This is our surprise. We're opening the curtains to recognize the brightness of the work ahead of us. Ms. Asbridge, please shed light on our work in Harris Hall. Thank you very much for joining me. Please enjoy Shasta Jazz Band. Go home safely. Thank you.